Now the other night, just as I was leaving, the two trucks pulled up, and I'm like, oh great, who's this? So I walked out there, introduced myself, and it was the electricians. The electricians happened to be working out of town. They actually live out of town. They had to drive here, and they wanted to install the electrical panel. And so he was out here. I didn't make a video of them installing it because it was getting dark. It was too dark. And anyways, this is the panel for the entire house, which actually, to be honest, quite surprised me, because lots of times when they build new houses, this one, see, it doesn't look very big, does it? And when you open it, they might have it locked or something, or not. Let's just see if I can get it open. I don't want to mess with it too much because I think he's got temporary power set on it right now, but I thought that would pop the panel open. But like I said, oh, here we go. Okay. See, he's got it set up for temp power, and this is his area for electrical, and it's only a 200 amp panel. And most houses nowadays have a bigger panel here, so you've got more room for electrical outlets. But he did, for electrical breakers, he did say, though, that they're installing another panel. He didn't really call it a sub panel, but they're going to be installing another panel inside the house. So they're going to run some main power from here into another panel with all kinds of other electrical circuit breakers in that one. But overall, there's only going to be 200 amps to this 5,000 square foot house. And I thought it was kind of minimal. I thought they would maybe install 300 amp panel, or 300 amps coming in, and then have a 200 amp panel, let's say, and then a 100 amp sub panel somewhere else. And he says, nope, 200 amps will do the whole thing. I says, it will? And he says, yeah. He says, yeah, we do it all the time. And I was like, well, they've got a 4-car garage. What happens if they were to ever install one of those Tesla battery operated panels where you hook that up to your electrical, to your house, so that you can feed your car, let's say? And he says, oh no, there'll be plenty of power for that. So all I'm saying is, make sure that your electrician designs your house with plenty of power available. You don't want to come to the point later on down the road and find out, man, I wish I had 2 or 3 more circuits. I wish there was more breaker space in the panel. I wish the electrician would have brought in extra power. I mean, anything is possible later on to fish more wires in and add stuff later, but who wants to do stuff like that? So I'm just saying, do your due diligence, check it all out, especially if you're going to be building a big, huge house. Now this one only has 2 air conditioners to my knowledge, 2 heating and air conditioning units. Some houses I've seen have 4 of them. If you got 4, or 3 even, if you got 3 and you got all kinds of other stuff in there, you want to make sure that you got plenty of power available. But he seems to think he's got enough. So he actually hooked this up, and we'll walk around on the other side. He said I'm going to give him temp power, and I don't know. I don't have a tester with me or anything, but see, he installed a GFI electrical outlet right there, so that if they wanted to plug in an extension cord, they could. Now these guys, they have a generator here, and then that operates all of his nail guns and stuff like that. That would probably, I don't know how much power that would power up for what these guys are using, but he thought that would be a good idea. So that's something you can do for temporary power. The other thing is, you get a generator out here. I'm not going to pull this out, but I think he's got a generator here, because here's his gas can and stuff, and then he has that running all day long, and then he's got power cords plugged into that. So that's another way you can do it. When I was building a house, it was actually right next door to some people who were already moved in. I went over there, told them I was going to be the new neighbor, asked him if I could plug my long extension cord into his outlet. He had an outlet on the side of his house, and he said, yeah, go ahead. And so I would do that every day, and then roll my cord up and then plug it back in. That's all I had until we had our electrical breakers turned on and had all that, okay? But this is something you can do. Now, I'm not sure. I honestly don't think that there's power to this yet, or else there'd be a meter here. Okay, when you have temp power, you then have to call the inspector, and the inspector has to come out here, check, make sure it's all been wired properly, make sure it's all ready to go, and then he'll sign it off, and then at that point they automatically send it to the electrical company, whoever your electrical is in your area, and then they'll put you on the schedule, and then they'll come out and then actually install the meter, and then put a little lock on there. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that's powered up yet. I just don't think it's powered up yet. And that was a week ago when they did that. But maybe, like I say, maybe the framers are like, nah, we're not going to use that. That's not going to be enough anyways. We always trip the breaker, and it's only enough to run one or two cords, and one of those is going to be hooked up to a compressor all day. And then we need, we got two Skil saws to run off of there, and we got something else running off of there, and it always bogs down. So we're just going to use that. We don't need that. So that's probably what they've done, is my guess. Okay, but you can always check stuff out like that. So there's your different options for running power out to your job site. Now see, here's some of the 2x4s. They were using this for top plate, bottom plate material, and then they'll use it for the double top plate. And I don't know, they might be using some of these for studs too, but I'm not sure. This is the only stack of wood they've got left. There's not anywhere close to being enough to frame up all these walls, I believe. Okay, we'll just have to kind of keep our eyes on that. Next time I come out here, they'll probably have another pallet or so of 2x4s, and they might have some over on the other side that I missed or something. But hey, in the next couple days, framing we will go.